This tutorial will demonstrate how to properly set up par or threshold levels for all medications in your formulary. Doing this will help to alert you when it is time to place an order for more medication. Please note, if you do not see the formulary option in the inventory submenu, then your specific user rights may have a restriction enabled. Contact your site administrator to request access if necessary. There are two screens within the MDScripts software that will help you to manage your inventory. There is the inventory screen, and more importantly, the formulary screen. It is important to understand the difference between the two so you can better understand how to use them. The inventory screen is simply a list of all of the inventory that you currently have on hand, separated by lot number. The formulary screen is your entire catalog of medications from which you can place restock orders, set threshold levels, set pricing, adjust sig lines, and much more. Let's explore some of the functionality that is available on this screen. When you establish an account with Aidarex, you will usually have a standard formulary of medications from which to order that were quoted for you during your account setup phase. If you wish to expand your formulary, you can contact Aidarex to quote additional medications, which will then be added to the screen. If you wish to remove medications you no longer want to order, all you have to do is click on the checkbox next to the unwanted medication and click Delete Selected. Removing medications from the formulary will not affect your current existing inventory. You will still be able to dispense whatever stock you still have on hand, but you will no longer be able to order the medication going forward from the formulary. Some accounts have established a master formulary, which can only be changed upon approval by a site administrator or director within your own organization. Make sure you have prior approval before making any changes to your formulary. The default cost column indicates the price that the physician pays for the medication. For accounts dispensing medication in cash transactions, the default price column indicates the price that the patient pays for the medication. The on-hand column indicates how many total units are currently in your inventory based on the NDC number of the medication. The GCN on-hand column indicates how many total units are currently in your inventory based on the drug name, strength, and size, not the NDC number. This number helps you keep track of the total inventory when more than one vendor is being used to order medication. For example, if your site was previously using another vendor before switching to Aidarex, and you still have inventory on hand from that vendor, the system will track that you have a total of X number of bottles on hand, in total, of a specific medication. So you may only have 5 bottles of an Aidarex packaged medication, but you have a GCN total of 7 bottles because you had 2 left over from the previous vendor. Sig lines, or medication instructions, can be added to each medication in the formulary by clicking on the Edit link next to the med. You can add up to 3 different sig lines for each medication. Since most medications typically have a standard usage instruction that only occasionally deviates from patient to patient, doing this ahead of time can save you a lot of time later when you are dispensing. The alternative to setting up these defaults is typing out the same instruction over and over again during a dispensing transaction, which is a waste of time. If none of the defaults apply to the patient's specific needs, you can always type in a custom sig line at the time of dispense. You do not have to use the defaults. Now let's talk about par or threshold levels. These 6 columns are all important when it comes to determining the par levels you should set on this screen to help you better manage your inventory. Setting a value in the warn column triggers the system to highlight the on-hand inventory column in yellow when your on-hand value is equal to or less than the value set in the warn column. For example, if you set a warning value of 5 and your on-hand inventory is at 4, that medication will be highlighted in yellow to visually alert you that you are running low on this medication and it's probably time to place an order for more stock. Setting a value in the alert column triggers the system to highlight your on-hand inventory in red when it falls below the value set in the alert column. This color is meant to visually alert you that you are really running low on the medication and are in danger of completely running out of stock. The alert value should never be set to 0, because if your on-hand inventory reaches that point, you are already out of the medication and may need to incur unnecessary fees on expedited shipping costs to get your stock back up to where it needs to be. The restock column is optional and allows you to set a value that will remind you how many bottles should typically be ordered each time you start to run low. This column is required if you use the auto-ship feature. We usually recommend that your warn value is set to a 1-week supply. Your alert value should be set to half a week, and your restock should be set to a 2-week supply. This ensures that when you place your order at the warning threshold, or 1 week left until you run out, you are ordering a 2-week supply. For our customers on the East Coast, it can take about 4 to 5 business days in shipping transit to receive an order for more medication. If you use the recommended threshold values, by the time the shipment arrives at your facility, you will have depleted your existing inventory and are now back up to your desired threshold of a 2-week supply. If you want to spend less time ordering and have the cabinet space to accommodate more stock, you can adjust these recommendations to monthly supply thresholds. So, how do you determine what a 2-week, 1-week, and half-a-week supply is? As you use the MDScripts software to dispense medication, the last week and last 4 weeks columns will keep track of how many units of each medication you are dispensing in the respected timeframes. For example, you may think that you dispense a lot of amoxicillin and order 20 bottles to ensure that you have enough stock to meet your demand. If after 4 weeks you notice that you still have 10 bottles on hand, you can safely determine that 20 bottles is well over a month's supply of product, and maybe you don't need to order this medication as often. Based on this information, you can adjust your warn, alert, and restock values so the next time you order, you are ordering the right amount based on your dispensing habits. It is especially important to consider seasonal medications, such as flu and allergy meds, and adjust their values often to prevent over-ordering or under-ordering as your patient demographic changes throughout the year. Now let's talk about the auto-ship function. This function is only recommended for accounts that fully understand how this function works and have a good handle on their site's required medication thresholds. Sites that choose to utilize this function also accept responsibility for any and all orders that are placed by the auto-ship feature on their behalf. This means it is especially important that the warn, alert, and restock values are frequently checked to ensure that meds are not being auto-ordered that are no longer needed, are not dispensed as often anymore, or are being dispensed more frequently. When the auto-ship checkbox is checked for a particular medication, every Sunday night, the software will run a check of all sites' current on-hand inventory. If the on-hand value is less than or equal to the value in the warn column, and the auto-ship checkbox is checked, the system will automatically place an order for the amount listed in the restock column. Please note, it will place an order for the exact value in the restock column, not up to the value. For example, if you have 5 units on hand and your restock value is set to 10, 10 units will be ordered. You can turn off the auto-ship feature at any time by simply unchecking the box. This will stop all auto orders going forward for a specific medication. It will not cancel any orders that may have already been placed. For example, if you uncheck the box Monday morning, this will not cancel any orders that were placed automatically Sunday night. To cancel those orders, contact Aidarex and the customer service team will assist accordingly.